He's doctrinally unsound. Now I can already hear the cries of, "That's racist! That's racist."
And if the cable comes out, and the truth of the matter is, most people I talk to that have financial problems have not been consistent with a budget for more than 3 months.
So I'm going to stop that right there. We're going to talk a little bit about Pastor Mike Todd. I'm calling him Pastor Mike T.T. Todd. Is he the perfect black pastor? Now, why am I calling him T.T.? I mean, you can see the outfit is a little suspect, a little sus, right? What the young folks call sus. And if you need a full version of it, it's this, right? It looks like he's wearing, auntie clothes, very hippie, soft. I mean, I'm just asking. Some people ask the question, right?
Are you wearing lady clothes?
Are you wearing lady clothes? I mean, we're just asking the question. Don't shoot the messenger. But some people have been asking. But you see, he's very, just very soft and effeminate. And black men see this and they're turned off by Christianity because of the effeminate nature of the men who rise up to leadership. We've talked about this in multiple places. Pastor Doug Wilson mentioned it, that the evangelical church is very, very effeminate, and men either have to acclimatize or they're going to leave. But that's not the biggest problem with Mike Todd. It's a big problem now. But let's listen into this clip from years ago, and I'm going to let you listen to the first 3 seconds of it, and it should blow your mind.
In 2015, I became the pastor, and I didn't know what a pastor did. And so
he became the pastor, but he didn't know what the pastor did. Where on God's green earth do they allow that to happen? Where a man becomes the pastor of a church, but he doesn't know what the pastor does or what it means. Okay, all the originals will be in the description. We got to talk about this because when you put a man up as pastor and he doesn't know what a pastor is supposed to be, he's going to lean into things that are not pastoral. He's going to try to pull people in with gimmicks. And this is what Mike Todd has become, full of gimmicks. Exhibit 1000.
You can't stay that close to someone without wanting to eventually create something more. Stay with the person like this. And you know me, I'm a big cuddler. So if I'm cuddling with my wife, the right leg has to get over. See, some of y'all too saved for this right now.
No, that's
but
just
you don't
not,
have a proper cuddle if there's not a
not
part of your body leaning on them. Stay in that position for 35 minutes. An hour. Hour and a half. Do you want to pray afterwards? Or do you want to play afterwards? Y'all gonna be fake. Y'all don't want to talk about. My kids are in here. They already know. They've been on TikTok. They already know how all of this happens, and they've already experienced. You can't.
So that's one of the problems. Again, so many problems with this. It's not our business how you like to cuddle with your wife. This is not the place for that in a sermon. The fact that he said that your kids already know about this because they've been on TikTok. Problem number 2, because you're not doing your job as a parent if your children are on TikTok and are seeing these things. As a shepherd, your job. Well, we just before we put the cart before the horse. But again, there's so much stuff going on with Mike Todd in these clips. This is just a small sample size of what it is. We got to get to the lesson, though. Let's get to the lesson. So the top 3 ways Mike Todd is the perfect black pastor. Oh, he's doctrinally unsound. Now I can already hear the cries of, "That's racist! That's racist. That's racist. I must hate black people. That's racist." Well, 1 Timothy 3:2, 2 Timothy 2:2, Titus 1:9 tells us to be able to teach, to hold the faith in good conscience, to be able to give it to men who are able to discern the truth and then teach it and pass it on to others. But Mike Todd isn't doing that. Oh, he mixes a little truth in with his error, but he always tries to cross the line because he's doctrinally unsound. He just can't let the text speak for itself and let it be the thing that's the double-edged sword piercing to the marrow of the bone, cutting right? Let it be the sword that cuts and also the balm that heals. No, he's got to do all of these other things because he's doctrinally unsound. We know he's doctrinally unsound because at the beginning of his ministry, he didn't know what a pastor was, and he's still preaching, still teaching, still doing all of the heretical things that someone who didn't know what a pastor would do when they're thrust into a position ill prepared. All right. Number 2, because I know I'm going to get people coming after me after the first one, but I don't care. Style over substance. 1 Samuel 16:7. God does not, he's telling them, don't look at the appearance when they're choosing Saul. Do like me and choose from the heart. Jesus tells us, do not judge by appearance, but judge with right judgment. Matthew 23:28. He's telling the Pharisees that they're those who want to be judged by the exterior where the internals of them are rotten. Mike's internals are rotten. You can see it coming out in his desire to be known, popular, in the fads, all of this stuff, having the famous people come to his church and recognize him, right? These are the things that he's well known for. He's not a well-known expositor. He's not a well-known man who walks out his faith continually and consistently. I'm pretty sure just give it some time and some scandal's going to follow him because he has all the earmarks of it. He smells of it. All right. And that's another thing. This is the other thing that makes him one of the perfect black pastors, is that he's weak on praxis. Weak on praxis. We're supposed to be able to teach, but be above reproach and to lead other people to live out the faith once handed down to the saints. Ephesians 4:11 says that that's the job of the pastor teacher, to equip the saints for the work of ministry. If black pastors were equipping the saints, black saints, for the work of ministry, would we be seeing all of the pathologies in our culture that plague us? Because we didn't see it when we had strong black pastors in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. The black family was intact. We may not have been the richest, but we were gaining in prosperity, but it was a prosperity that was going to build generational wealth. Now we have more money, but our generations are so weak and they're being led by women because the family is broken. We can have money, but it won't lead to any when we talk about generational wealth for people who don't have a seed, who aren't raising their children, that's not generational wealth because it's going to die with them. Generational wealth means that it's not a number. It just means that it's going to be passed down to the next generation. We've got things so twisted. Again, we call evil good and good evil. I'm going to leave y'all with that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Support. All the information is down in the description. Become a member, $1. And until next time, be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. See y'all around. Bye.